This is a Dharma training video on the basics of batik. Alright, so first I would like to explain some of the waxes and batiks that waxes and resist that you use in batik. We carry several different kinds and they do different types of resist. The first one is actually a Batik Wax, which is a mixture of paraffin and sticky wax, which is actually a very typical wax that you'd have to boil out, or best if you boil it out, the fabric. It's a heavier batik, it's a heavier wax that will resist the best when you have multiple dip dyes, or depending on how you want to color your batik. That's what this particular starter kit comes with. This is why we carry this. The starter kit comes with Batik Wax mixed, comes with all the other Procion dye materials that are really high quality dyes that you use when you're doing the actual dip dyeing. I like to do dip dyeing. I'll show you that as the video progresses. Also comes with our detergent, which is very easy to clean out and pre-wash your fabrics with. Gloves, of course. Dust mask, highly recommended when you're working around powders of any sort. Of course, the setting agent, which is the soda ash, and a very, very unique book on batiking. Gives you great ideas about how to batik certain clothing, etc., etc. Really fun book. So that's that part of it. That's the batik starter set that we carry. There are other ways of resisting. So we've discussed the mixture of the wax. There's a way to mix your own wax. So this is the sticky wax, part of the combination that makes the Batik Wax. You can mix your own depending, as you get more talent and more excited about doing batik, you can do your own mixing of your own waxes. The sticky wax is a very malleable kind of wax, and mixing it with the paraffin, which is the crackly kind of wax, mixes together very easily in a melting pot, and it will allow you to kind of play with that amount of crackle that you get with your piece. Soy Wax is a very unique product that's fairly new. It is sold in flakes by the pound, and it's very easy to melt. The drawback of soy wax, if there is any, which I actually love using soy wax, if there's a drawback, I would say that it doesn't resist 100% as well as Batik Wax does. But the positive of soy wax is that you can actually wash it out in hot water in your sink. And you can't do that with this wax. You'd have to either iron it out or boil it out. I prefer boiling because it leaves the fabric cleaner. There are also other resists that cannot be submersed. There is Inko Resist, which is a very good particular resist that will give you kind of a more of a malleable resist. There's also Presist, which is also another product that's used in what they call faux resist, or faux batik, sorry about that. And what they cannot do is be submersed in water. So you can use these and paint around them with either dye or fabric paints. And then you set those by ironing, and then you can wash the excess paint out at the same time you get rid of the resist. There are people that really like to use just beeswax by itself, excuse me. And basically it will be a very malleable, very soft wax to use. So it kind of lays down on the fabric, goes through the fabric really nice and soft, but it doesn't give you the crackle that a lot of people like to have with batik. I think that's the part about the Batik Wax I like the most, is the crackle that you get. So those are the basics that you can use to do batik, faux batik, or regular batik, or even using the soy wax. This stuff is fantastic. So that's basically what you need for to do the resist part of the batik. Now I'd like to explain some of the tools that are used to apply wax to your fabric. This is our flat brush, which is extremely handy to do large areas of wax. Basically speaking, it will hold up, of course, with hot wax. The bristles don't burn or melt. And also you can cover quite a large area. I've got a piece that I did for this video that really was an awful lot to cover with wax. The Sumi brush can also be used that way. This happens to be a Tjanting when you're doing fine work. As far as drawing your design, this is made with a brass part, melting chamber. It keeps the wax nice and hot. It needs to be metal at the tip. These are the better Tjanting tools that we carry that I happen to like an awful lot. These are made with copper, and they come in a bunch of different openings, basically 1, 2, and 3 openings. The 1 being the smallest. There is also a double spouted Tjanting, which is also real handy for filling in some areas that need a special touch. There is also the Batik Dropper Pen, which I happen to like an awful lot. It actually is it seems to be made out of basically a material that does not melt. It's not metal, and it will suck up a lot of the wax, and you can do larger areas, more of a blob effect, which is really kind of fun and easy to fill in large areas with. So I like to use the Batik Dropper Pen as well. There is also a very unique item that is commonly used in Indonesia for batik, and this is called a Tjanting, or a TJAP. And these are copper, and they will pick up hot wax, and you kind of manipulate them a little bit in order to get the wax to get a really nice smooth stamp, and then it makes a beautiful resist. It goes right through to the back of the fabric so that it makes a complete resist. Of course, you need a larger container to do that in. That's why it's always good to run to the thrift store when you happen to see one of these. An electric fry pan, so that when you're melting your wax, it does not actually overheat. It's very important when you're working with batik wax to make sure it doesn't overheat. You have to set it to a certain temperature. That's what's so cool about the melting pot as well. This is wonderful for working with the Tjantings. This particular Tjanting is very easy to use with this melting pot because you can fill it up this way very easily and start to draw with it. So this is the tools that are used in batik. Fantastically easy. There are some other videos on our site that show a few other tools that are used in Indonesia as well. All right.